Much of the Minnesota Vikings contract extension talks this offseason has circled around Justin frickin' Jefferson as well as Neil the Real Deal Hunter. But let's not forget TJ friggin' Hockenson, who's heading into his fifth-year option season, going to be a free agent next offseason. He came into the Vikings as a trade deadline move after the Vikings lost Irv Smith Jr. to an injury, and Hockenson came in and he lit things up. And you could make a very good case that he was the second best tight end in the game behind Travis Kelce the back half of the season. And now he does have a full offseason to work with Kirk Cousins and develop even more chemistry and actually be in the offense. But what's amazing is that in two different offenses, Hockenson ended up as fantasy tight end 3 last year. And I think that he really is a threat to be tight end 1 this season if you want to go out and go get him. Go get your guy. But like we said, the contract is the issue right now. He is due to make some coin, $9 million and change on his fifth-year option. But the Vikings could actually lower his salary cap hit this season by extending him long-term, giving him a lucrative extension, and could free up a couple more millions of bucks this year. And I don't know, extend Jefferson. Take care of the deal. I don't know. There's lots of things that could go down now. And ESPN, Kevin Seifert, who's not Carl Gershman, who's not, wrote about, so at NFL Nation, they wrote about guys who are deserving of extensions, and Hockenson popped up. This is what Seifert wrote. Latest on negotiations. The free agent signing of tight end Josh Oliver, who was fully guaranteed $8.2 million, raised eyebrows about the Vikings' long-term commitment to Hockenson. Since then, however, it's become clear that Coach Kevin O'Connell wants 2 viable tight ends to maximize his scheme. O'Connell said that pairing Oliver and Hockenson actually gets you really excited about how versatile we can be and how we can reinvent ourselves and staying true to our football philosophy. And absolutely, having Hockenson and Oliver on the field at the same time, 2 tight ends at the same time, man, does give the Vikings a lot of flexibility, because if defenses put in their nickel, you can run on them. And if the defenses stay in their base, split Hockenson, Oliver out wide, and enjoy those mismatches. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun using both of them. And I don't think that the signing of Oliver impacts how the Vikings see Hockenson long term. I don't think that it's... I actually think the two things are mutually exclusive, where I don't think that they're going to lowball Hockenson or be like, hey, well, we have Josh Oliver waiting here. They're 2 different types of tight ends, and I think that they both want to utilize them. The team wants to utilize both of them going forward. GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah said acquiring Hockenson from the Lions at the 2022 trade deadline was a today move, as well as one that gives them the ability to keep him around for a long time. And also, Hockenson, Iowa kid, local-ish. His parents were able to come to the games more easily coming up to the cities versus Detroit, and it seems like he's super happy here. While the Vikings' financial attention has been occupied elsewhere this offseason, most notably in complicated contract negotiations with All-Pro receiver Justin Jefferson, it's clear that they plan to address Hockenson's deal as well. Progress is more likely to take place later this summer, and the Vikings are in that dead period right now, that 5-6 weeks in between mandatory minicamp and training camp, where things tend to get done. And you've noticed that, like, over the years, the Vikings, especially under Spielman, they like to start training camp with some good news, a long-term extension for a fan favorite, and I think it could be Hockenson. Also, I think it could be Jefferson. Just extend them both. Let's go. And SpotRack estimates Hockenson's market value at $14.4 million per season on a 4-year, $57 million and change type deal, which would slot, which would track, where we'll put him an average per season 3rd behind Darren Waller, who just got paid by the Giants, as well as jumping George Kittle with the Niners, ahead of Kelce, even though Kelce's probably going to have his contract freshen up at some point, ahead of Goddard and Mark Andrews, who just recently got paid, same thing with Njoku. So I think this does make sense, where in terms of the tight end market, 14.4 is the going rate for a elite top tier tight end, and I think that he certainly would deserve it. And if the Vikings, let this thing ride and then just franchise tag him next year, this year's franchise tag for tight ends, Evan Ingram for the Jaguars was $11.35 million and change. $11.345 million. So we'll round that up to 12 with inflation. So that's roughly what the Vikings would have to shell out next year. And since they can't use a franchise tag on Kirk Cousins, maybe that does make some sense in that spot. But I do think that TJ Hockenson is going to have a career year, and I think it would make sense. Kind of like Justin Jefferson, where Jefferson's obviously going to be expensive, but, I mean, if JJ goes for $2K and is an MVP candidate, it's going to cost even more. And Hockenson, like, he he has the ability to be, the best tight end in the game in terms of receiving. But if he goes out and does that, all of a sudden that 14-4 looks like 17 and change, man. So I would take care of Hockenson right now. It's pretty clear that he likes where he is with the Vikings. He's a Midwestern guy. It suits his sensibilities. And I think that he believes in what this team and culture is building here. And also him and Josh Oliver are going to be the most dynamic tight end duo in the league in a long time. So it makes sense. Take care of Hockenson. Take care of Jefferson. And we'll go from there. But that's it. Your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings need to make the Hockenson extension a priority this offseason. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo, but till next time, Skol, production value.